Next up, we have history search.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Martijn, and I'm founder of History Search. So, on your PC, it is the file system that connects your user experience. It gives a seamless experience whenever you find a file, which is then opened in the right application, and it does this automatically. On the web, it looks more like this. Each web service, each application, so to say, is containerized and has its own information. The problem is that it can be quite difficult to search across different services. What History Search does is it connects the web where it matters, and that's around the individual. So whenever you browse a web page, it'll index the text on that web page, and it's not just the title or URL, it's the entire content. So any word or phrase you remember will be enough to directly open a page that you've been before. I'm going to give you a quick demo you'll see right here. For example, I work with the Edge API, obviously, because we support all browsers. So I would simply type Edge API and it would retrieve the document for me. Did everyone see the video, or was it too fast? So the next use case is, for example, this is a funny one, it's my own experience where I lost a booking confirmation, but you could use it to find things such as booking confirmation and other references. And obviously this applies to your entire workflow. A final example is, if you're anything like me, you spend like 2 or 3 hours finding a jacket that you like, and then you postpone a buying decision, and you want to buy it 2 weeks later, and then you have to go back and find it all again. Here you would simply type the name of the jacket or whatever, or any other topic, by the way. You would toggle previews, and you would instantly recognize the jacket you want and just open the page right away. So what it does, it unifies the web around you. So what makes History Search unique and possible? It's a seamless integration with the browser. So whenever you're browsing, these pages are automatically indexed. Obviously, you control wherever it's active, so you can pause it or blacklist pages. Anything that you can think of really can be ignored. The second part is the private cloud. Our concept of the private cloud means that you actually own this data. And right now, you can use it to search. But in the future, who knows? You could use it for all kinds of things. It's actually my personal opinion, which is a problem with a lot of the current legislation around privacy, is that everybody is trying to prevent companies from getting information, and they're sort of ignoring the point that we're giving these people this information because we need their service. So if we don't have this data ourselves, we won't be able to get their service. This is a beginning to that as well. So how do we make money?
I have to wrap up.
No problem.
Over your 3 minutes.
We have different plans, and more or less everything is, like, the first version is free. The most recent 3,000 web pages, you can always search them, and that goes up across the plan. So you just pay for more storage. Our goal is not a small one. I want to have 20 million users by 2020. We spent 3.5 years developing this technology across practically every popular browser there is. We hit over 1 million searches. One second. We have 5.8% paying users, and over 15% of our users are active on a daily basis. So that's History Search for now. We have a lot of other things that we're going to add, such as collaborating and bringing the web even more together.
Privacy. Can you talk a little about privacy?
Definitely. What is the question?
Well, how do you keep the data private?
So first of all, History Search builds up an index, meaning that it's not an exact copy of the page. It's like the end of an encyclopedia, so it would know that those pages refer to specific URLs. That's one. So the combination of your query would send you to the most relevant page. The second part is that we've spent considerable amount of time developing what seems a little bit a simple application. So it's completely covered with authentication. Aside that, I think from a commercial perspective, we've decided to not show any ads, we don't show any data, and you can read our privacy policy. It's black and white. It says we do not sell or share any data with anyone for other reasons than providing the service.
And where does the data, where does my search data reside?
So the index, it's the more or less the data as what you described. So the index, at the moment we are partnering with AWS, and we use their services mainly because everything has biometric protection, and we use several other technologies as well.
One of your biggest challenges, I guess, is acquiring customers. How did you acquire the customers that use the product right now, and how do you intend to solve that in the future?
Well, so I launched a beta 1.5 years ago, and we were in beta for 1 year, and I probably spoke to everyone who wanted to talk to me on Instagram and Facebook, and we built an audience of 3,500 people who are really engaged with the product. So they're on our Facebook community, they're interested in what we're learning. Then we did a launch on September 18th, last month, a public launch, and yeah, it went really, really big. Like, we got coverage on CNET, on newspapers, even in printing press. That helped us get our initial flow of users. But to answer your question, actually our focus is not getting a very large amount of users. Our current focus is increasing engagement. So how do we define success? Is if the engagement ratio of a user, the 15% daily active, that's our goal, to see that this becomes the way of navigating back to information online.
That's all for Q&A. Thank you, History Search.
Thank you.